welcome back to Demigod Debut. I'm Mal, Medea apologist and longtime Percy Jackson fan.
And I'm Julie, Percy Jackson newbie and supporter of women's rights and wrongs.
So true. And this is a podcast about Julie's first time reading The Lost Hero. And we are joined this week by Rhea, another fan of The Lost Hero.
Hello.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about your Demigod debut or how you were introduced to the world of Percy Jackson?
I've been reading Percy Jackson since I was a kid. My mom's a really big reader, so she made me read it probably middle school, beginning of middle school. And I just finished my undergrad, so it's been many, many, many years. And The Lost Hero is my favorite novel in the entire Riordanverse, so I feel like this is the perfect time for me to be here.
Whoa, the entire Riordanverse.
Unpopular opinion for sure, but
I was going to say it's a little bit of a hot take. Why is this one your favorite?
I think because, well, a couple of reasons. First, because Piper McLean was the first brown girl that I'd ever read about. So even though I'm not Indigenous, I did relate to her in so many ways. And I also love Leo Valdez, like number one book character ever. I was obsessed with him when I was younger, and that love is just kind of carried over. And I guess lastly, Heroes of Olympus is just my favorite series. I like it better than the original as well. And I just thought this was such an amazing setup for the rest of the series.
All right, I see that. I agree. It is a good setup. I just enjoy the things that it sets up more than the setup itself. But I also, like people saying, this is my favorite book. I'm not like, what's wrong with you? It's more like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm willing to accept this. Like, I can see why it would be someone's favorite book, maybe. But
Do you think also because people are so attached to the original characters like Percy and Annabeth, Grover, all of those, it's kind of hard to be introduced to like an entirely new cast within the same world. So I totally understand that. I remember reading it for the first time and being like, damn, where are they? But it grew on me. It really grew on me. It took some time.
yeah, these characters are fun. Piper and Leo especially, and Jason is also there.
I love him.
I don't hate Jason. I just
Who is he?
Yeah.
He's especially hard to read when he has no idea who he is. That's just I'm like, sir, do you have any personality in this book?
He doesn't know who he is, so no.
I know.
Yeah.
So are we ready to support women's wrongs?
Hell yeah.
Because we've got chapters 25 through 28. Some good ones. 2 Jason chapters, 2 Piper chapters. All right, so chapter 25, it's a Jason chapter. And, you know, we've always got to get one that's all about dreams. So he starts dreaming, and he's dreaming about being chained up upside down, which is, you know, also what's really happening. And he asks, if I'm dead, why does it hurt so much? And then there's a woman's voice saying, he's not dead, and come speak with her. And then it says that Jason's thoughts, like, float away from his body, and he can hear his friends, like, screaming and monsters yelling, but he feels like it's happening on another plane of existence. And, like, the way that this is described is not beating the Jason is dead allegations. Like, if this was me, and someone was like, oh, you're not dead, and then I felt like I was floating away from my body, I'd be like, no, but actually I am dead.
Very true. It is kind of a odd description.
And so he ends up back at the Earth Cage, and this time he's inside it with Hera. She tells him that he won't die today, and his friends will see him through for now, which is ominous. She warns of worse trials to come and says that the very earth stirs against us. And, you know, she gives us a lot of information here. She explains that Jupiter, his father, believes that the gods have become too involved in the affairs of mortals, and if the gods withdraw, they'll be able to lull their enemies back to sleep. Hera does not agree with this. She thinks that this is paranoid even for Zeus. And she also says that as Hera, she would probably just go along with whatever he said, but since she's also Juno, and Juno was once called the one who warns, and was the patron of eternal Rome, she will not sit by while the descendants of her people are attacked. Which I appreciate. I enjoy that Juno has a little more something to her, instead of just being like, well, husband said so I have to do it. And so a voice told her to come here, and she listened, but it turns out it was a trap. Who would have thought? She does at least admit that her, like, following this voice was even more foolish than Jupiter's whole trying to pull away bit. And she says that this is also what happened the first time. She was captured by the giants, and her imprisonment started a war. She also says the giants cannot be defeated by just the gods. They need help from the greatest living heroes. And also that the one that they serve cannot be defeated at all, only kept asleep. Jason asks what Boreas meant when he said that Hera had made a dangerous gamble. She said it was an exchange, because if they are divided, then they will be destroyed. And Jason is her peace offering to bridge a millennia of hatred. And she also said he's only survived this long because he has no memories.
I love how Rick Riordan, like, he just info dumps in dreams. Like, that's his way to just teach us about the backstory.
Yeah.
I remember, like, reading it as a child and being like, oh my god, another dream, because it wasn't, like, actual action.
Yes, it's like, this is how we get the plot.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate it, but it feels like every single episode lately it has been like, okay, we start with a dream, and then everybody comes together and has to like exchange information to make sure everyone's on the same page, and then we like get some sort of confrontation, and then it's like, oh, then we've got another dream, and then like it just repeats. We're doing the same thing over and over, which is like fun, but also sometimes I want to spice it up. And it also could be on me for how I've divided up the chapters, but I choose to believe this is a Rick problem, not a me problem. Okay, so other information that she gives him. She tells him to return to his starting point and that his sister will help. She also says his mortal enemy is waiting in Chicago, and if he is to die, it will be by her hand. And it's a little funny to call her his mortal enemy when, like, they've never even actually met and she just hates him because his name is Jason, but sure. And then post-dream, Jason wakes up on the back of the dragon, again, like nothing happened. Yeah. Any thoughts on the Hera dream, Julie?
It throws me off that she like interchanges Zeus and Jupiter and then also calls herself Juno. Like that throws me off. I don't know why the connect is not happening there, but I'm like, who are you?
You're like, I can barely remember just the Greek gods.
Yeah.
Now I have to remember other ones too.
The Romans,
And
yeah.
like, it's not that they're the exact same persons. There's different things happen, different
Right.
personality traits and everything. And I'm like, I need like a quick reference guide or something of all of the Greek and Roman gods and their personalities because I can't keep this straight.
I'll make you a cheat sheet.
Thank you. Yeah, I need
Apollo's really easy. Apollo's just Apollo.
Okay.
Start there.
And I feel like they don't even describe a difference in him ever from his like Roman to Greek form. So he's like singular. He's just
Yeah.
Apollo.
Apollo's Apollo.
Just, yeah.
Simple man.
And I love that for him, you know? All right, so Piper and Leo have to explain to Jason what happened with the Cyclops family, including all the fire stuff and how Leo kind of took down the whole Cyclops group with just a tool belt. And I find it kind of interesting the way Jason says he wasn't exactly scared to hear that he almost died, but instead he just kind of feels terrible for being a bad quest leader and like walking into an ambush and getting knocked out. Because, like, hey, you're a human person and you're worth more than just the work that you do.
He is kind of like self-deprecating sometimes. I'm like, oh, poor guy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I make fun of him a little bit in this book for, like, being boring and useless and not having a personality, but, like, he's also a 15-year-old, and
Literally.
he should be allowed to make mistakes and spend a fight knocked out.
He doesn't know what's going on.
He literally doesn't even know
Yeah.
who he is.
He needs to save the world in 4 days.
It's not even 4 days at this
It's
point.
less.
At one point in these chapters, he's like, oh yeah, the 20th is tomorrow. I'm like, what?
What are you talking about? Yeah. No, but it's actually like I complain about it sometimes because the people in the books and all, they're always like, oh, you're this, you're that. For Leo, for example, everybody's like, you're so scrawny and small. Hey, he's 15. Of course he's scrawny and small. He's not going to be this jacked, buff, like 25-year-old dude.
Like, have you met a 15-year-old? I'm just wondering. Anyone who's...
Like, actually.
He's also like run away from home multiple times, so he's not like having a regular like lifestyle home or like food. Like
Yeah, he's malnourished, if we
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave these kids alone. The older I get, because at this point, oh god, I am over 10 years older than these children, and that's horrifying, and I don't want to dwell on that, but the further removed I get from it, the more I'm like, okay, these are babies. These are babies.
Literal
and,
children. Yeah.
Whew. Another thing that makes me very sad, Jason feels like he should know this, like, son of Mercury that they mentioned in the purple shirts that the, I can't remember which one of the Cyclops said, but they claim that they ate him. Like, this is a person that Jason might have known. Like, he feels like he knew this person. Like, maybe they were even friends. And he can't remember his name. And I don't know, maybe it's just that I think being forgotten is one of the more, like, tragic ends for a character. So perhaps I'm reading into this, but, like, I feel so sad for this son of Mercury.
No, it is very devastating because it's like they don't know, he doesn't know who it is, what this person's backstory is, like literally nothing about it. And it's like actually devastating because that person had a life.
Just to be forgotten.
So true.
And then it's like, even if Jason gets his memory back, is he gonna remember after the fact who this person was? Or is, because he didn't know him in the time, like, is he gonna forget? Like, justice for this son of Mercury. Justice for that guy. And then it's also sad the way Jason's like, I'm not alone. There are others like me. Like, it's hard. It'd be hard to be a person of any age to just not know who you are. But when you're 15 and like kind of don't know who you are anyway, to then like really not know who you are, it's a lot.
And then be thrown on a life-threatening quest one day after you wake up on a bus with no memory. Tough luck.
I know.
Terrifying.
It's a lot. But at least, you know, Piper says, no, you're not alone. You have me and Leo, which is like sweet, but also like the sentiment is there, but also it's not necessarily what we needed, but it's fine. And they also talk a little bit about his dream. This is the making sure everyone's on the same page bit, and kind of Hera's exchange and like how it was breaking some big rule that he got sent to Camp Half-Blood. So Hera is cooking, and whether the end result will be good or bad, we will see. We also talk about the sleeping enemy, and Leo tells them that she appeared to him at the porta potties, and he doesn't know if it's true that she's completely unkillable, but he can confirm that she cannot be killed by a toilet seat.
He's really got away with words.
Piper gets kind of frustrated and wants to know why everyone is toying with them and how this is all connected to Enceladus. And Jason hasn't heard this name before, and Piper kind of tries to explain it away by saying, oh, that's just one of the giants I know. But Jason can tell that there's something else bothering her. Then, putting all the pieces together, we rehash the whole gods and demigods will have to work together, and how last time Porphyrion kidnapping Hera was like the start of the war, and eventually we meet Chicago, and Jason spots a storm spirit, and they decide that they're going to follow it, see where it goes, see if they end up where they need to be. So that's pretty much the end of 25. I had renamed this one last week Straight Answers, Never Heard of Her, because yet again we get a lot of vague half answers and a dream. So, other silly chapter title ideas?
I don't think so. This has less to do with the chapter title, but I'm getting increasingly frustrated with Piper not saying anything. Just every time, like, there's like a little window where she can just explain what's going on. I'm like, girl, I know you don't want to, and I know you think it's gonna ruin everything. Let your friends help you, please.
Mm-hmm. Let your friends help you.
I'm like, Leo shared his like crazy secret. Like, come on.
I do think that there's a part of Piper though who's worried that if Enceladus somehow finds out that she has told them, that then they're going to be in more danger.
Yeah.
I feel like that's right. Because I feel like that was implied at some point.
Yeah, like it's...
But it's still just like, girl, just tell them. They're going to help you. They're not going to hate you.
They're going to find out eventually. Like, they have to.
Right.
Like,
yeah. She's so 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
No, they are all 15-year-olds in the worst way, and it just, like, it leads to some very interesting conflict. They are all 15-year-olds with a terrible secret. That's
a good way to put it, yeah.
That's what being 15 is all about, honestly.
Keeping a terrible secret.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, yeah, when I was 15, I was like, I have my terrible secrets, and, like, we're real friends if I tell you my terrible secrets. All right, anything else for 25?
I got nothing.
I guess we could also call 25 Another Dream.
So true.
So fair. There's so many dreams.
Yeah.
At least they know about Leo's fire powers now, though. I thought that was...
Yes.
At least one secret has been revealed to the group.
And thank God for that. All right, so 26 is another Jason chapter, and we are chasing a storm spirit through Chicago. I do really enjoy how Jason is very much backseat driving while Leo is actually driving, and Leo's like, okay, do you want to drive?
I do that all the time. I am such a terrible backseat driver. I'm like, you have to get in this lane. This lane turns into a turning lane. You need to go. And like whoever's driving is like, do you want to do this? And I'm like, no, I'm just saying. Like, I know this road. Like, it's gonna switch.
I'm just trying to be helpful.
Yeah, I'm a passenger princess for life. Thank you very much.
As you should be. So we follow the storm spirit, and it kind of converges with a bunch of others at an art installation. And when I heard an art installation by the lake in Chicago, I was like, the Bean? It's not the Bean.
I don't even know where the bean is.
The bean is like right next to the crown fountain that they end up going to.
Oh.
They're like all there together in Millennium Park.
Oh, okay. I've never been to Chicago, so.
I have been to Chicago exactly once in 2019 to see the opening night of the Percy Jackson musical tour.
Love.
Oh
So
my gosh.
it was a great time. I did actually go to this crown fountain that they describe, and I thought it was a little freaky because, I mean, it's pretty much exactly what's described in the book. It's two big towers that are made of video screens, like on either end of a reflecting pool. And
Did you go because of the Percy Jackson connection?
like, did I go to this fountain because of this?
Yeah.
No, I did not remember that this happened.
Wow, okay, interesting.
Yeah, there are some things from Heroes of Olympus that I'm like, yes, I know this location, a thing happens here. This is not one that I remembered. You know, there's Percy Jackson connections everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I was there, it was January, and so the faces weren't actually spitting water. So it is interesting to me that Jason describes them as like spitting water into a reflecting pool, and then later says that like there's no water in the reflecting pool because it's winter. I'm like, what is the truth? Are they spitting or not?
Rick with his inconsistencies, it kills me.
And then also it's like when the storm spirits fly by, they like kick up a water spout. I'm like, with what water? It's ice. It's winter.
Also, where's the editor? Not just Rick. Like, an editor didn't catch this?
I think his editor is this like very sweet old lady, so I wouldn't be surprised if she missed a couple things. But you know what? They've got the story down for sure. They've got the story down.
Yeah, there's definitely some inconsistencies. Like in one of the newer books, they fully like call a character by the wrong name.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember catching that.
Oh my god.
Like literally in the first chapter or something.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
you gotta get some more eyes on these books, I think.
Just a couple more people, get them to sign an NDA at the very least if you're that worried about it.
Like, yeah, you need a couple people who aren't normal about these books to like look things over and be like, hey, wait, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'd sign up for that.
Oh, I will also do it. I have 65 episodes of a podcast that you can listen to about the way that I will comb through with a very fine-tooth comb and find all the little things.
There you go.
Okay, so creepy. I feel like we need to look at a picture or something of these because they really freak me out. Because they're like video screens that show giant faces of Chicago residents, but something about them is just off. Like it gives Uncanny Valley a little bit. So this is already creepy to me, at least, even without the sleeping woman's face that like Jason and Leo both see on it. So TLDR, not a fan of this statue. So the storm spirits end up going down a drain in this fountain, and so Leo decides to park Festus in the park and follow the storm spirits down the drain. And so Leo tells Festus he can go wherever he wants, but come back when he hears a whistle, and to try not to barbecue any pedestrians in the meantime. Piper's ankle is also still hurt, because she broke it, like last chapter. And so we climb into the drain, which I guess we wouldn't be able to do if the fountain wasn't empty. So the fountain is empty. And the sewer ends up being nicer than expected. I think it's kind of funny the way Leo's like, oh yeah, I've been in worse sewers. And then, I mean, it's not funny that he's like, look, I ran away from home, so I've slept in weird places. But also, I spent a lot of my childhood climbing into this one particular storm drain. So I'm like, yeah, being in a sewer, that's normal.
When I was 10 years old and I read that line, hey man, I ran away 6 times. I've slept in some weird places, okay? And I also knew that he was like the funny side character. Like that actually tormented me for so many days. I'm just imagining my like 5th, 6th grade self just crying over that because I was like, oh my God, he's so funny. He keeps them happy, but he's actually the most traumatized.
Yeah.
100%. He thinks he killed his mother. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't really know that you get much worse than that.
Like, poor Leo. And he still has, like, a good spirit about him. It's like, how's this possible?
Yeah. Like, thinking about it, I can think of 2 demigods that also have, like, a really, really terrible, hard childhood. One of them is Nico.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nico does not maintain his joyous whimsy.
No.
And then there's also Luke.
Ooh.
And we all know what happened with Luke.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I guess also Annabeth had a bad... We all have bad childhoods, but, like...
She's not whimsical. I'm sorry. Like, she doesn't have that spirit about her.
So for Leo to be able to maintain the joy is big.
Really proud of him for that. I know he's not real, but I'm proud of him.
He's real in our hearts.
Yes.
Okay, I was talking about storm drains. Now I lost my bullet
Wait,
point.
wait, wait. Did you say that you used to hang around in a storm drain when you were a kid?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, can we circle back to that?
Yeah. Wait a second.
Yes. So there are these like man-made ponds in the neighborhood that my parents live in and that I like grew up in. This is also like in Houston, which floods anytime there's hurricanes. And so there's like this drainage place so that the lakes don't flood into the houses that are surrounding them. And so kind of connected to this system, there is a storm drain that basically just leads into a long tube and then like a big, feels like a room, but it's underground. And whenever it was dry, you could climb down into the storm drain and we would like bring snacks and chairs and things and set them up in the little room and just be like, this is our clubhouse, which we probably shouldn't have been doing that. And I don't think any of our parents knew that we were doing that, but yeah, we were hanging out in a storm drain.
No, if it works, it works. It sounds kind of cute.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I don't think I would do it, but
Could have been doing worse things, probably.
very fair.
All right, so in the sewers, we end up stopping pretty quickly because Piper's ankle is bothering her, and Leo just starts cooking. Jason starts angsting about his memories being gone, and, you know, for good reason. He can't understand how Hera could claim taking his memories is keeping him alive when he can't remember, like, basic things about mythology. He's like, I should have known about how Cyclops can mimic voices, but I didn't. And so he's kind of starting to realize why Annabeth had wanted to leave her in the cage. And I just gotta say, sooner or later, everyone realizes Annabeth is always right. And Jason also tells Piper that he knows that the whole mist relationship thing must really suck for her. And she says it's not his fault. And then he spends 2 paragraphs talking about how glad he is that the Aphrodite blessing has faded and Piper no longer looks fabulous because he likes regular Piper better. Like, on one hand, I get it, but then also it's like, okay, you want a medal for like enjoying a woman?
It's so women written by a man.
Yeah, it is a little bit. But also I'm like, I'm also guilty of this because I saw a man online post like a picture of Sabrina Carpenter like all made up and then one of her without makeup and was like talking about how like this is false advertising, like the women are catfishing, and I was like, that is a beautiful woman. Like, I'm sorry that you have never seen a woman without makeup on because that's a hot woman. I don't
Yeah,
Mhm.
tell me you've never slept with a woman before without telling me you've never slept with a woman before.
like I mean, I guess good for Jason for not being like, wow, false advertising. The Aphrodite blessing is gone. But I did like how he said that she had seemed really powerful when she was dressed up like that. It's very interesting because our society very much looks down on like quote unquote girly interests like clothes and makeup, but also tends to enjoy powerful women. Like, I'm thinking about, you know, like red carpet pictures of actresses and like people start commenting like step on me and like things of the like, and it's like, I don't know, and maybe those people are not the ones who are like looking down on women for enjoying makeup, but like, I don't know, there's definitely power in being beautiful, but it feels like we want it to be effortless. Like, the effort is the
No
part that,
makeup look.
yeah, like we want to look down on women that we see trying, you know, which is annoying. But yeah, I think Piper should embrace the power that can be found in beauty. And Rick should also embrace this instead of writing the Aphrodite cabin like they're useless, but women written by a man.
What are you gonna do?
And then, speaking of Piper not telling anyone what's going on with her dad, Jason brings it up and is like, hey, you were going to tell me something, but we got interrupted. And then they get interrupted again by Leo bringing them the tofu tacos that he's made. And I love Leo. He can do it all. And it's so white boy of Jason to be like, I'm not really sure about the tofu.
Come on.
They don't have tofu wherever you came from? Find that hard to believe.
I love how he's also just able to pull all this out from his tool belt and effortlessly whip up a meal. Like, Bro can cook too, I guess. I guess that's part of the Festus Captain powers.
He's got it all.
You know, he's the ideal boy. Like, I understand the people who are like character of all time.
Guilty.
I mean, I can't say character of all time because I think Annabeth is character of all time, but like, I respect it. Jason is also glad that Leo is here to cut through some of the weird intensity that he and Piper are having. he also half wants to be alone with her and like wishes Leo would go away. So it's like it's very complicated.
It's so 15-year-old
Yeah.
boy.
He's like I don't know what to do about this and I'm gonna like explode.
Mhm.
So it's good that we have this friend here, but then also please go away. Yeah.
Mhm.
So he settles for just encouraging Piper to get some sleep, and so she curls up with her head on his lap, which I'm sure is not helping the complicated feelings. And then Jason and Leo then talk about the fire powers, and Jason encourages Leo and tells him, hey, we've all got weird powers, so you're no more of a freak than we are. And he then suggests that maybe Leo can fly too, and says maybe he should try jumping off a building and yelling flame on. I'm like, did Hera let him keep his memories of the Fantastic Four? Is that why he knows that? Because like that's Johnny Storm's whole thing, and Johnny Storm can fly. But Leo says if he tried that, you would see a flaming kid falling to his death. And he also repeats what Nyssa had told him at camp, that demigods with fire powers tend to cause bad things to happen. Jason says he thinks it's the other way around, that people with special powers show up when they're needed the most. And Jason also tries to tell Leo that his mom's death wasn't his fault, and the Dirt Woman has just been wanting to mess up his confidence. Leo says it's just like he's very nervous about the fact that there's some big thing that he is going to be responsible for doing, and like he doesn't know that he's going to be able to do it. And so Jason wants to reassure him that everything's going to be okay, but he also kind of feels like he can't. There's a quote at the end here that it says, they were demigods, which meant sometimes things didn't end okay. Sometimes you got eaten by the Cyclops. Great. That's helpful.
Yeah, very comforting.
And so they also start talking about who the other 4 demigods might be. Jason feels like he's doing a terrible job on this quest as the leader, even though it's just Leo and Piper, so he's not sure he'll be able to lead a quest with 6 other people who may or may not get along. And I do love the way Jason's like, hey, maybe the other 4 are on a quest right now. And Leo says, yeah, I bet their sewer is nicer than ours.
He's so funny.
I appreciate him.
Definitely lightens the mood.
Yeah, and we need that. Then Leo goes to sleep, and Jason just kind of sits there alone with his thoughts for 4 hours.
Like, what is he thinking about? He doesn't even have memories. There's nothing to think about
No.
except this quest.
Like, he does think about how cute Piper looks when she's sleeping, and he's like, I can't remember exactly what it said. It said something about, like, oh, and he thinks about, you know, like, what Hera had told him, whatever. And I'm like, that's not enough for 4 hours. I would lose it. Jason is stronger than me.
With nothing to do, just sitting in a dark sewer while your only 2 friends that you met 2 days ago are fast asleep.
It's not even like you can
Yeah.
reminisce on old memories. You don't have any.
You don't have anything.
Yeah, because I feel like I can kill time. Like, I would just start thinking about, like, some piece of media that I enjoy. But does Jason remember any media?
I guess he does with the whole flame on
Yeah,
thing.
maybe.
Who knows what he's thinking about?
Yeah, Jason is just thinking about Fantastic Four comics. I wonder what Jason would think of the new movie, Pedro Pascal. Alright, so, like, pretty quickly after this, everyone just kind of gets up and we move on. And we end up kind of following the tunnel until we find elevator doors engraved with a cursive M. And Piper wonders if this is Macy's. The directory says the sewer level is parking, kennels, and the main entrance. Furnishings and Cafe M are on floor 1. Women's fashion and magical appliances are on 2. Menswear and weaponry are on floor 3. And side note, this feels a little bit sexist because why is the women's fashion with magical appliances, but the men's fashion is with weapons? Though I would love a magical washing machine that would, like, do my laundry, dry it, and fold it so I didn't have to.
That'd be pretty nice.
What magical appliance would you like to have?
I really hate folding laundry. I hate putting it away. I'll fold it,
Yes.
and then it'll sit on a chair until
Yeah.
I need something or I finally decide to put it away.
I don't know what I would want. I just want my dishes to be washed, dried, and put away without me having to do the washing, drying, and the putting away. So
Yeah.
there's a magical appliance that can do that for me. That's not a dishwasher, because then I guess with a dishwasher, I still have to rinse it, put it in, put everything away
Yeah.
after it's been. So yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something about the putting away is just the worst.
It's so tedious.
Yes.
The worst.
You
Yeah.
know you're gonna have to take it back out anyway.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
you take dishes right from the dishwasher. I'm like, well, I might as well just take it out of here and use this.
Might as well just
Yeah.
wash it all in the sink without putting it in the dishwasher, because I have to rinse all the food off of it before I put it in the dishwasher anyways.
And now we're just women talking about magical
Oh,
appliances.
damn it.
So, like, perhaps this was the correct placement.
We're adults who have, like, chores to do, okay? Like, men think about this too.
Do they?
I know my boyfriend hates doing his laundry. He will leave it in the dryer until he's out of socks and just pull them out of the dryer. And I'm like, drives me crazy.
Yeah, I do laundry whenever I run out of underwear.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, it's time. An interesting choice to
Mhm.
put. Why not just put all the clothes on one level and then the weaponry and the appliances together? Because there are implications here.
Yeah, it says women's fashion and men's wear. And I know that that's like general terms, but I think that's a greater issue that needs to be unpacked.
Yeah.
Rick, you will have to answer for this eventually.
Oh, also, level 4 has cosmetics, potions, poisons, and sundries. I did not know what sundries were. And when I Googled it, the definition that it gave me is various items not important enough to be mentioned individually. That is the least helpful definition. I'm like, what kind of various items?
Yeah, because with potions and poisons and then just a bunch of useless stuff that isn't important enough to be mentioned, I feel like that's a pretty intense level of stuff.
I clicked around some more and it was like sundries are kind of office supplies are sundries, like pens and like toiletries might be sundries and like other small household items. And I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Like it's the stuff that you would find like around the checkout counter at like a TJ Maxx.
Fair.
Sounds like. Also, it takes until they get inside for Piper to go, okay, this is not Macy's. Like, the directory outside was not enough. She had to get inside. And I just want to know what kind of Macy's she was going to that sell poison and weaponry. And also, it's gorgeous inside. It's got like a stained glass ceiling, a central atrium with like a color changing fountain. On the other side of the fountain, we've got a cage of storm spirits and a second cage with a frozen coach hedge. And then a very elegant, beautiful woman asks if she can help them find something. This is her store. She says she found it abandoned and decided it would be a good first acquisition in this country. As she talks, Jason starts to relax and wants to hear her talk more. And she says that she's the princess of Colchis, which should maybe be a red flag considering that Colchis hasn't existed for thousands of years, but perhaps the children are simply bad at geography. Jason asks if they can have Coach Hedge back, and the woman says, of course, but first asks for their names, and as soon as he says his name is Jason, she looks at him with so much anger that she literally glows. So, that can't be good.
Naturally, as one does when you look at just a guy who has the same name as someone else who potentially wronged you.
Right, like, it's an interesting choice to be like, I hate this child specifically because he has a name that's, like, not even an uncommon name.
Like, such a basic name for a guy.
It's one of those names, kind of like Tiffany, because that's, like, a historic name, but you can't put that in, like, historic media because it's also feels so modern. Like, Jason feels out of place in Greek mythology because it is just such a normal name.
Wait, never trust a guy with a J name. That's Jason.
Yes.
Can't trust him.
So perhaps he is their enemy.
Mhm.
After she calms down, she's like, wow, what an interesting name. And then says she'll have to make some special deals for him, which will be great. And so the title that I gave this one, I called it We Shop at Evil Macy's because Piper calls it Macy's and it's a department store, and I feel like it was right there. But I also did think about calling this one Leo's Taco Garage just because I think that's cute.
Very cute.
Both of those are great options.
Also, like, this title thing takes more thinking. Like, I respect Rick a lot for the titles because they.
Doing that in the first series, yeah.
It's harder than I thought. No wonder he wanted to stop.
He just needed a break.
Yeah, and then in Trials of Apollo, where he starts every chapter with a haiku, I'm like, oh my god, you came up with how many of those?
Yeah. No, those are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Other thoughts on 20. What was this? 26? 26. Other thoughts on 26?
I think it's a nice build up to, like, just to show that it's Piper's time to shine a little bit, because the boys are both obviously charm spoken into.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boys. All right. Chapter 27 is Piper. And so Piper immediately wants to either run or attack this princess now. But Jason and Leo are acting weird and just kind of going along with whatever she says, so Piper has no choice but to follow. Piper then tells us that she hates department stores, mostly because she got caught stealing from a lot of them. And she apparently talked salesmen into giving her computers, new boots, a gold ring, and once even a lawnmower. And it is interesting that she specifically says salesmen, which, I mean, could either be a just using men as a general term, or it's a little bit creepy and she's only able to convince men to do it. And in that case, why are men so easily charmed by a teenage girl?
Ick.
I do appreciate that Piper does usually eventually return the stuff. Like, she's just stealing for the love of the game and for her father's attention.
She'd make a good Hermes kid.
She really would. And so, the woman who owns the store, it's always weird when there's like a bunch of lead up to the reveal of someone's name. And then I'm like, I know that we're going to get it revealed in these chapters, but I'm like, when do I get to say it in my summary of the chapters? Because they never actually say it in this chapter, and so I'm like, am I allowed to say it? I mean, I think I'm allowed to do whatever I want,
Yeah.
but I don't know, it just feels weird. So the woman who is Medea, surprise, um, shows them various potions, including one that can cure any disease, and one that will kill you very painfully. Piper tries to remind Jason that they have a job to do, but she doesn't feel very confident about it, and so much like when she tried to face Drew back at camp, it doesn't work. Medea also shows them a potion that makes you fireproof, and Leo says he has that covered, which she then finds very interesting because he doesn't appear to be wearing her trademark sunscreen. And I think this is a very fun detail because the first time this sunscreen was mentioned, it was by Annabeth in the Sea of Monsters when the Colchis bulls are attacking camp. She gets really mad that she left Medea's sunscreen SPF 50,000 on her nightstand at home.
I need that.
Julie needs SPF 50,000
Yes.
for the beach. I started using SPF 100 this summer. Game changer.
I really don't think anything above 50 is more effective. I think that's the science.
Prior to that, I was using 30, so
It's probably making a difference. Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah.
A bit of a difference, yeah.
Maybe I need to find me some SPF 50. Whatever body of water I am at, I will be swimming, and that washes off your sunscreen. So
Reapply.
I always need something waterproof as well.
Off topic question, what cabin are you guys from? That was giving Poseidon Kid energy.
It is, yes. I don't think I'm main character enough to be a child of the big three, so I've never said I'm a Poseidon Kid. Cabin 11 is what I've decided.
Okay.
And then Julie is absolutely from Cabin 10.
Aphrodite girl.
It doesn't seem like it because I'm dressed in like garbage clothing right now, but I do take that stuff very seriously. I am, however, going to bed as soon as we finish recording.
Right now, you're not like the other girls.
Yeah.
Right now, you're giving Piper, and it's fine.
I'm not like this right now.
What cabin are you?
Cabin 7, Apollo.
Excellent. A good choice. So, Piper starts thinking about the potion that can cure anything, and she wonders if that would bring Jason's memories back. And then, of course, she's like, do I even want that? You know, what if Hera is onto something when she said Jason would only survive at camp without his memories? You know, what if he's the enemy? What if he has a girlfriend? She keeps having this thought, but she asks about the potion anyway because she knows that Jason would want his memory back and, like, she cares about him and wants to help. And so the prices at this department store are very interesting. So Medea says the prices are tricky and starts telling a story about a young man who wanted a treasure from her father's kingdom, which she helped him steal in exchange for taking her away with him. And she looks right at Piper and goes, I'm sure you understand why someone might be attracted to a hero like that. Piper starts to think of the myth, but then decides, like, no, there's no way that this woman could be who I think she is. So she asks Piper if she would pay anything for the potion, and Piper really wants to say yes, but also she can tell that she is using charm speak. But she does say that this woman's charm speak is like 1,000 times stronger than Drew's was. And Piper briefly feels kind of guilty when she realizes that this is probably what her friends feel when she does this to them. And so it takes kind of all of her willpower, but she does tell Medea that she will pay a fair price for the potion, and then they need to leave. The boys are not on board with this. They want to stay. Medea is very impressed that Piper could resist and says that she should have seen that she was a child of Aphrodite. And she also tells her that they need to keep shopping because Piper will need all the help that she can get if she's going to make it to the Bay Area. Piper thinks of her dream with Enceladus, which I don't think they ever told us was in the Bay Area, but it's very heavily implied that it was in the Bay Area. She asks, whoa, why the Bay Area? And Medea tells her that's where they'll die, gesturing to the boys. And then leads them to the escalators with Jason and Leo following along like little puppies. And that's chapter 27 before we get into the good stuff, which is the last one. But I called this one boy behavior in parentheses derogatory because they have both become just completely useless. And I can't say that I would be any better faced with this beautiful woman with magic, but I can also make fun of Jason and Leo.
Yeah, it's allowed.
This one was hard to come up with a title for.
It was short.
I didn't have a good one. Rick, I need you to give me titles, because...
Mal's doing free labor here.
Yeah. And I came up with more not great ones for our next couple chapters.
Can't wait.
All right, so 28, Piper again. Medea tells Piper that she's a seer and she knows all about her secret, but they shouldn't dwell on it because the boys are having so much fun. Piper also sees that the boys are checking out clothes, and she's like, wow, they must really be under an evil spell if they're interested in clothes. But one of the things Leo tried on was a raccoon hat with like a moving tail and legs. Like, anyone would be interested in that. That's interesting. And like, someone shopping for themselves is gonna be interested in what they're buying. Like, Jason is looking at sportswear. I have personally seen my brothers spend like 3 hours in Academy just like looking at pants because like that's what they want to shop for. Like, it's not groundbreaking that they would be interested in shopping. Come on now. Piper asks Medea who she is. She just repeats that she's the princess of Colchis, and Piper asks where that is. And she's like, where was Colchis? Because it was lost eons ago. So the next logical question is, how old are you? But she tells Piper that a lady should avoid asking or answering that question. And she says it took a while, but her patron was finally able to bring her through. And this patron evidently does not just bring anyone through, it's all people with special talents. And all she asks for is for the store entrance to be underground and a favor every now and then. Jason interrupts by showing Piper a purple shirt, just like his, that has been torn apart by claws. Leo then holds up an orange Camp Half-Blood shirt that's got a giant hole in the middle. And the princess says those are trade-ins from previous customers. And I just feel like the thing that they got in return was dying.
I love how like subtle the foreshadowing is, but it's like still so evident looking back. That's not really a spoiler, but like
Yeah.
just like seeing the two separate shirts together.
It's like,
Wonder what that means.
Piper then suggests that Medea tell the boys how she betrayed her family, and they're like, yes, please tell us more story. So Medea says people will do strange things for love, and she fell for a hero because Aphrodite put her under a spell, but she can't hold a grudge against a goddess. And in saying that makes it very clear that she can and will be taking it out on Piper. Piper points out that the hero did marry her as promised. She says he did at first, but once they had the treasure, her brother's fleet came after them, and she convinced him to come aboard under a flag of truce. Piper then accuses her of killing her own brother, and she says, no, my husband and his men did the killing. And then they threw her brother into the sea so that his fleet would have to find it. And all that for her husband to betray her in the end anyway. But the thing that's interesting is that the book does not mention the cutting her brother into pieces before they threw him into the sea, because that is part of it. Because they cut him into pieces so that his men would have to stop and find all of them, so they couldn't pursue.
Oh.
So, little horrifying.
I love Greek mythology.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
And then Jason asks, what her husband did. And she looks at him and says, you of all people should know, you're named after him. She says she made some mistakes, but ultimately she acted out of love and asks the boys, like, wouldn't you do the same? And they say, okay. And so she continues taking them around the shop. They see some cool things like an armored forge that can melt celestial bronze or imperial gold. And we get some information on imperial gold for the first time, which is, what Jason's sword is made of. And imperial gold had to be consecrated in the Temple of Jupiter on Capitoline Hill in Rome. So it is very powerful and rare, but it is also volatile, and she warns him not to break this blade. She also shows him a throne made by Hephaestus to trap Hera. Leo wants to buy both, and we finally get a price for some of the items. The price for the seat is 5 great deeds, and the price for the forge is 7 years of servitude. Honestly, I think that we should do away with money and we should return to paying for things in great deeds, because that's ridiculous.
Not the servitude thing, though.
As long as they aren't anything like what Hercules went through, sure.
The 12 labors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the 12 labors are interesting because thinking about how many of them that Percy just did, because when Hercules was doing them, that was like the quest. Like, he went out to go and clean the horse stables.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Percy did it, it was just like a stop on his quest. So,
Like one chapter.
in this essay, I will explain why Percy Jackson is a better hero than Hercules.
Retweet.
500,000 words, MLA format. Here we go. Yeah, so as, Leo goes to look at the things, Piper then tries to reason with Jason one-on-one. Of course, does not work. They are then led down to the fountain where they get a closer look at the cages, and they see that Coach looks mostly okay. And Medea says that the price for Coach and the Storm Spirits is quite high because if they're wanting to free Coach, freedom is very expensive. And the Storm Spirits are very good servants to her. So this is going to cost a lot. Piper decides to finally say her name. She's like, this is Medea, who helped Jason steal the Golden Fleece and is one of the most evil villains in Greek mythology. And she warns the boys not to trust her. And it's interesting that, like, this is what she says. And she doesn't actually talk about any of the reasons, like, why she's a villain. It's just like, oh, she helped Jason steal the Golden Fleece. She's a villain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not convincing.
Need more information. Be specific.
Medea does admit that she is in fact Medea, but she says she simply misunderstood because women in the old days had no power or leverage, and so she made her own destiny by becoming a sorceress. Again, not really touching on the things that make her a villain. Like, this is all justified. This is all, like, I'm like, yes, girl boss, go queen.
Sounds great so far.
Like, all the stuff with Jason and the fleece is fine. It's the when you get into tricking your brother under a flag of truce and then, like, cutting him into pieces and then also the other murders, like, that's when things start to get dicey. But, like, stealing the fleece, everybody was stealing stuff. Like, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, her returning from the underworld is kind of a sticking point for the boys. Like, that does register. I do think it's a little bit funny that at one point, like, the book specifies it's like Jason, Piper's Jason. Like, it gives us a little note to, like, help us keep the Jason straight. So Medea explains that death no longer holds her because her patron knows that monsters are not her greatest servants. So she is apparently also bringing back mortals. And Piper tries to point out that Jason ended up leaving her because she was crazy and bloodthirsty, which isn't exactly true because all of the murdering so far, Jason has been a part of. Like, it's only after he leaves her that things get really murdery, you know? Yeah. And so Piper does admit that it wasn't right for Jason to leave her, and then also points out that it wasn't right for Medea to murder their 2 children and also his new wife to get back at him and leave him without an heir. You're right, but also...
One of those things is worse.
Yeah, leaving your wife, the woman who helped you achieve glory in stealing the Golden Fleece, she went against her family for you, and then you just left her? What else is she gonna do? Like she said, women didn't have power back then. Like, what else? I mean, I get, like, you don't... I'm supporting women's wrongs in, like, a really bad way right now, but, like... it obviously, like, okay, murdering your children is never the right move, but also, like, I get it.
That butt is doing so much heavy lifting right now.
She should not have murdered her children. However, in the olden days, when women didn't have power, so, like, she's left by her husband. What does she have?
Kill Jason. That's what she should have done.
No. I agree. Mm-hmm. She went about it the wrong way. There should have been murder, but it should have been Jason.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're your kids, too. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's not like it's somebody else's kids. Those are the kids that you gave birth to.
Or, like, just kill the new wife. Girl on girl crime.
It's Jason's fault.
Just kill Jason, actually. Like, the man is the problem here.
It's always the man.
Also, Medea insists that she didn't kill her children, like an angry mob killed her children. Which is interesting, because I read a couple different sources on this story, and none of them said anything about a mob killing her children. So I'm like, she's probably lying. But she does, however, freely admit to murdering Jason's new wife, so...
Like, I definitely did that one.
She's like, yeah, that was me. I also believe that she murdered Jason's new wife's father as well. Because he went to a different kingdom and he was supposed to marry the princess of that kingdom. And I believe she killed both the princess and the king. But I could also be making that up. But yeah, TLDR, I support women's wrongs. I forgive her. I don't think she should have done it, but I forgive her. She also then turns right around and tries to convince Leo that the fountain is magic, and even if you cut a person into pieces, you could just put them in the fountain and they'll emerge stronger than ever. And Piper points out she's already done this before. She did this to a king just so that he would get cut up and then he would be dead. Like, it was a lie. She also finally names her price for the Storm Spirits and Coach Hedge, and the price is that Jason and Leo have to fight. And so she tells them that they resent each other, and they agree. Leo says Jason is always the star and takes him for granted. Jason says Leo is annoying and doesn't take anything seriously and can't even fix a dragon right.
Rude.
That's a little far.
I haven't heard a little bit.
They've been nowhere without Leo's dragon.
I'm like, you gave him one night to find that dragon and fix it. And look where you are. You're in Chicago, okay?
You're supposed to
That's
be.
a long trip.
Yeah.
And you've also already been to Canada. Like,
Yeah. Also, Leo's insult is more like the way other people perceive Jason. It's like a little bit of jealousy, but Jason's is literally just like, you're annoying, attacking directly him.
it's personal.
Like, jeez.
Yeah.
But also, there's not really enough of Jason to do personal insults. Like, unless you're gonna be like, haha, you don't remember anything. Like, there's not really a way to insult Jason. Like,
Yeah.
he's kind of this just blank person. So Medea then tells Piper that if Jason and Leo kill each other, then Piper can have her father back today. She then iris messages his assistant, who has apparently been manipulated by her this whole time. And Medea thanks her for getting Mr. McLean to leave town. And Jane says he cooperated because he believed that Piper was in danger. Medea then asks Jane to arrange a suitable story for his absence and probably some time in a psychiatric hospital because, as we found out last dream, he's not doing so well. Piper, of course, is incredibly pissed that her dad was lured into a trap. Again, these people are going about it the wrong way. Like, the same way that the Dirt Woman was, like, trying to get Leo to not fight her by killing his mom. Like, you're trying to get on Piper's good side by telling her that, like, you're the reason that her dad got kidnapped. That's not gonna work. Just make a better plan. Especially because Medea's like, oh, I'm a seer, so I've been preparing for this for years. And, like, see the fact that people actually care about each other and make a better plan. Like, I know clearly you didn't care about your family given what you did to your brother, but Piper likes her dad, okay? Oh yeah, and she also admits that she was kind of a little bit behind what happened to Leo's mom as well, because she says that she gave her patron some information that led to a certain little visit in his childhood. And so Piper tries to point this out to Leo, but he is simply too ready to attack Jason. Piper then puts everything she can into her words, telling them not to fight each other and to fight Medea instead. And this time it works. Thank God. So then Medea goes, man, and then releases some not metal but still golden dragons to fight them. And they are not quite as big as Festus, but they are still big enough to kill them. Piper then chases Medea, who has gone for the potions, and once she reaches her, she throws her shield, which not only knocks Medea over, but also breaks and mixes a lot of potions. And so Medea says that she's doomed them all, and they have only seconds before this mixture, like, consumes everything, destroys the whole store. Piper is a woman in STEM. Like, when in doubt, mix a bunch of things together. Chemistry queen. So Leo and Jason are both, like, pinned down by these dragons, but luckily Festus smashes through the ceiling and is able to pick up the dragons, get them off Leo and Jason, and then Leo is able to contain them. Medea then starts begging Piper to take her with them. She says they won't survive this quest without her, and Jason will never get his memories back. And Piper says, not today, witch. But I'm sure she wanted to say a different word that rhymes with witch.
Would have been so good.
And then we fly out of the store as it explodes behind us.
Iconic.
An excellent fight scene that I went through very, very fast because, I don't know, I never want to describe a fight scene as like, and then he slashed his sword, and then he dodged. Like,
We read that
I
action
don't
scene.
know.
We're good.
Yeah. Like, did I miss anything on this one?
My favorite part is her saying "witch." It's so good. Not today, witch. She'll let her say it. Just let her have one swear word. It's a children's book. They know this word.
Yeah. So my chapter title for this one, I really enjoyed. I called it "We Fight Jason's Ex-Wife" because it makes it seem like Jason Grace has an ex-wife, and that's funny.
Very good.
That is.
A+.
I also thought it was so badass when she jumps over the side onto the dragon to run away from Medea at the end. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I needed that.
Can picture it like perfectly, like an action scene.
There's a lot of very cinematic, like, action moments. Like, I can see Piper jumping onto the dragon and the dragon flying away as the department store explodes.
Yeah.
Like, 10 out of 10. I also really appreciate how we've had, like, we had the interaction with Boreas, which Jason kind of took the lead on that one. And then we had the interaction with the Cyclops, and Leo kind of took the lead on that one. And now we had the department store where Piper kind of had to take the lead. Like, everyone is getting their chance to shine, which is lovely.
I think that's something that Rick does really well throughout the entire series. I'm actually rereading the series right now, and I'm on Blood of Olympus. But I feel like with every like set of chapters, he does such a good job of highlighting different character strengths. So it's not just focused on like one or two of the main characters. Like everyone has such an integral role, and it's like masterfully done in my opinion.
100%.
It's excellent. So, well, I guess we'll have to see who's in charge of our next encounter. So, next time we are doing chapters 29 through 32. So, I have some silly chapter titles for you to make some predictions, Julie, and I should have sent these to you ahead of time, and I'm sorry.
What the hell, Mal? Putting me on the spot.
I'm sorry. I forgot that I was supposed to do that. So, chapter 29 I called Radio Free Hephaestus.
I like that.
I don't know. I mean, I like it. I just think of Radio Free like Europe, of like that anti-communist radio channel during the Cold War. That's it. That's what that's giving, and I have no idea how that could connect to this.
Hephaestus is anti-communism.
Oh,
Naturally.
gross. Ooh.
So chapter 30 I have called, and this one is my silliest chapter title, I believe. We Fall to Our Deaths 2 Laser Boogaloo.
What? Okay, they're gonna fall off the dragon. I think Festus is gonna kaput or something. The computer chip in his brain is gonna finally die, and they're gonna fall into some lasers. I don't.
Could be.
That's what you're getting from now.
Oh yeah. Also, those are both Leo chapters. I don't know if I said that.
Okay.
And then 31 is a Jason chapter. I've called it "We're All in This Together," like the song from High School Musical.
Great song.
Jason's are actually both songs, so know that. So we're all in this together.
I would like to believe this is where Piper finally shares what she's been wrestling with about her dad, and Jason and Leah reassure her that they're going to all come together to help her save her dad and the world.
That's the dream.
But mostly her dad.
That's what we're all waiting for.
And then chapter 32, also a Jason chapter. I've called it 24 Karat Magic.
Oh, I like that. That fits really well.
I don't know. I want it to have something to do with bunnies, with all the carrots. That's what I'm going with.
Well, it's carrot
like diamonds, yes, but that's boring. I want bunnies.
Okay, all right.
But now it's like it has something to do with diamonds. I want bunnies.
I mean,
I don't know who to associate diamonds with, to be honest.
Maybe not diamonds. Think of another thing that could be carrots.
I have no idea. I care about two things: jewelry and bunnies. Bunnies first.
That's so fair. Julie, do you have any other predictions? Because last time you hit us with the I think it's Gaia thing, and I was like,
I still believe that. I had that written down for weeks. I thought I mentioned it before, but
now I'm like, we gotta check your notes. Do you have any other predictions?
No, but I am still interested to learn more about this bargain that Hera made. This exchange.
Oh, you will.
But I do not have anything
that has to do with Jason
specific on that. But I'm still going with my Gaia thing. I don't trust her. Dirt Lady is Gaia. She's evil.
It's a good guess. Well, excellent. Rhea, thank you so much for being here and joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
So much for having me. This was so much fun.
For some supporting women's wrongs. Would you like to tell the people where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok and Instagram. My TikTok is Rhea Shoran, RIASHEORAN, and my Instagram is Reading About Dragons. And I post a lot about Percy Jackson, so if you're into it, come find me.
If you're listening to this podcast, probably a great account to follow.
Thank you.
And I will also link it in the show notes. All right, well, we'll be back next time with 29 through 32, and it'll be a grand old time. All right, see you next time. Hi, you can find us on social media at DemigodDebutPod. You can also find the links to all of our socials in the episode description. If you enjoy consuming this podcast, please consider leaving us a rating or review wherever it is you are listening. See you next time. Bye!